Hello, everybody, and welcome to this pop-up vPub on a Thursday night. Of course, No Nonsense Whisky here. If you've moved over from the Aqvavitae channel, then I say hello to you, and I say hello to every one of you who are my subscribers as well. This is going to be a vPub with a little bit of a difference, but hopefully some similarities as well. Roy was kind enough to send me over some assets and things, so hopefully this will be a kind of like a similar vibe to a normal vPub for you, but just with me instead. Now, in case you missed it last week, Roy was saying that he's actually away at the moment. He's on the Isle of Arran, lucky guy, and he's asked me to step in to cover the vPub for a week so that you guys don't miss out, which I think is pretty cool, and hopefully I will do it a little bit of justice if I can. That said, very nervous about this. I don't do live streams very often, so I've dusted off the cobwebs of all of my gear, and we're going to have a nice little setup here. We're going to go through some things like the OSWAs and stuff, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So yeah, that's me. And in keeping with the kind of the Aqvavitae themes, I'll see you in just a moment. There we go. Thanks, Roy, for that intro. Actually, very, very nearly forgot to do that because I don't usually do an intro. I usually just go straight into a live stream. Also, very aware that I usually speak quite quickly. So if I start doing that at any point, let me know. I'm going to try and talk a little bit slower so that it's just a little bit more understandable. Hopefully, it's all coming through fine. No one said anything about noise yet. I'm looking at the chat here, which I'll delve into in just a moment. But yeah, what I wanted to do before I get into the chat is just to say great thank you to everybody who's joining me. I mean, I've got 95 people watching from YouTube right now, which is insane. This is going live on Facebook and Twitch as well. So hopefully if you're there, I will see your comments, but I'm going to move over to the other comments to make sure I don't miss anything from Facebook. And as always, I've got the kind of chat here. If you want to speak to me, ask me a question at any point, feel free to ask me a question. This is very collaborative. Then make sure you at me on the chat so that I can see it. And of course, if you want to highlight it, then there's things like super chats and whatnot. But, you know, we're not here to talk about that sort of thing today. I've also got Whisky Shared, Toby, doing a bit of moderation for me because I wasn't sure how much this was going to be like, you know, watched or how fast the chat was going to go. And already I can see it going blah, 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 past me here. So, yeah, I'm going to miss stuff. And if I do, I apologize. But feel free to just keep prodding me and whatnot. But in any case, in normal vPub style, I'm going to jump into the chat and say hello. In fact, I think it's already gone so far that I can't even see the first chats that came through. But I remember a few people that were at the start. And if I miss your name, I am very sorry. And there's going to be a lot of new people that I haven't seen before. But thank you for coming in. But yeah, massive shout outs to the people who were here first. And that's Hells, who was here, obviously, at the start. Pete Head was here. Whisky Shared. Jeff Whisky, thank you for coming in. I have only got one moderator, but I probably should have had more by the look of this because we're now up to 114. Mind blowing. Thank you very much, everyone. Ethan Sterner is in. Thank you very much. Donna Pass Whiskey, great to have you here as always. Keep scrolling. Marcus is in. Thank you very much. Lee J, welcome, buddy. Light Plays is in. Thank you. If you guys have watched my video today already, I usually have a video on a Thursday, and I've done the Ardbeg Wee Beastie. So thanks for the comments on them. Jerry Miller is in. Thank you for coming in. Did I say Gerben? Gerben's in. Anyway, I think I said you earlier, but if I didn't, you're in. Nick Gascoigne's in. Thank you. Whiskey Central, Shayla's in. Thank you for coming in. Sugar Kitty, excellent. Who else have we got in? A lot of people were chatting before the doors even opened, which is insane. A really cool thing. We've got here Whiskey Franco says, "Good to see you all in the Vin pub." I love this. I have to say, me and Roy didn't talk about this beforehand, but when he announced it last week, immediately on the live chat, someone said, I can't remember who coined it, but someone said Vin pub. I didn't make that up. Roy didn't make that up. That's you guys, man. You guys are cool, and I think that's awesome. Roy's dropped in, and he's dropped in a super chat. Barkeep fees. Thank you for opening the doors, buddy. Enjoy Barflies. Thank you very much, Roy. I'm surprised you're here because it's meant to be your holiday, but you can't stay away, can you, my friend? But thank you very much. I massively appreciate that. And I'll do my best. Do my best. Scrolling through, Roy Halford's here. Thank you for coming in. Red Sox 367. He's meant to be in bed, I think. Did he say earlier? But he's saying hello to me, which is great. I really appreciate that. We've got Doc. Doc's in. Hey, buddy. It's weird to see your name without the blue spanner next to it. Maybe I should have added that to you, but thanks for jumping in. Yeah, there it is. Red Sox was saying about an early night. Thank you. Right. Andrew Piers is in. Thank you for coming in. David, he's in. Nice one. Thank you very much. Martin Fielder. I'm not going to go through too many. I don't want you guys just me reading out these, but yeah, we like to say hello to people. So yeah, there's loads more people. I'm gonna jump back into that in a bit because I want to talk a little bit about the OSWAs and things like that. And I think I might have nearly missed some extra. Yes, I have whiskey malt content. He says it's going to be a great vPub. See you at the English Whiskey Festival in Birmingham. I'm afraid I can't go anymore, buddy. I had a ticket, but something's worked out in personal life and I can't go to the English Whiskey Festival in Birmingham anymore. So I gave my ticket away to someone in my whiskey club. So hopefully they'll enjoy it above me, but I'm gutted. I can't make it. Whiskey Central says, cheers, Vin. We're lucky to have you in the Vin pub. I don't know about that, but we'll see. I should do more live streams, but it's just one of those things. It's a time thing, you know. And usually, I have to say, I'm a bit of a I like to go to bed fairly early. I have to get up fairly early, so I don't usually make the live streams myself. But today, I've made an exception to keep the lights on for you guys. So, but that said, I can't imagine I'll be going on as long as Roy does. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see how we get on. I've got some content to give you. We do have a quiz at the end. So, yeah, normal service. Ethan Sterner, he's given us a super chat as well. Thank you very much. Right. Let's talk about the OSWAs. Now, that's what we're here to talk about today. What we're going to be doing today is running through the categories and the nominations, which, you know, I would imagine most of you have seen. If you haven't, the OSWAs is an initiative set up by Roy and Ralphie last year, the online Scotch Whisky Awards. Now, despite the name, it's not entirely Scotch focused. It's going to be world whiskies, but there are obviously kind of emphasis on Scotches in there as well. For instance, like the last category is the best Scotch in the world, and the one before it is the best world whiskey, which is like everything else. So maybe one year they'll expand it out to kind of delve down into those things, but we're not worried about that. That's just the categories they've done. Last year was a roaring success. And it's important to note that at no point during this process the idea isn't to make something sell out or anything like that. This is, it starts out with a larger group, and I'll go into that in a little bit on how it works before we start talking about the actual drams. But the idea isn't to sell something out. In fact, there's a collaboration with certain stores, which Roy will go into on the night on the 5th of November, that will keep the prices of the winners at normal fair prices. So hopefully the idea is that you should be able to get these whiskies. Now, the way they're doing this, so last year it was a bit different. There was a core group of people that did the whole thing. Yeah, we did the long list together, we did the short list together, and so on. This year, they wanted to expand it out to more content creators beyond YouTube. So we've got bloggers and Instagrammers and all kinds of stuff involved that are separate to the industry. And again, if you've got any questions about it, let me know, because I'll do my best to answer it. I'm not heavily involved in the OSWAs. So this year, they had a core group of collaborators that I'm not even sure who they were, to be honest. I'm part of the wider group. And they selected the long list. So basically, in each category, I don't know how many they got to pick, but they got to pick a couple at least for each of the categories of what they thought. Now, that list came to a wider group of people. About, I think it was 56 at last count, but somewhere between 50 and 60, something like that. And what we got to do, that list is on their website as well as the contributors, so you can go and check them out if you want to follow some more whiskey people. There's, again, YouTubers, Instagrammers, whatnot. Go and have a look at that list. I should drop a link in so that people can just go and look quickly. Let me do that very unprofessionally while on camera. There you go. There's the contributors, all in alphabetical order, so there's no preferential treatment for anybody. Of course, most people have whiskey in their name, and if they've got whiskey at the start, they're all lumped at the bottom, bless them. But yeah, you can go and check that out, follow some people. Now, what we got to do then is, and this is before the public vote, of course, we got a long list of, I don't know, 12, 15, something like that for each category. We were allowed to select 3 and then give like our own little extra vote on top of that if we thought that our favourite wasn't in there, which is what we did. Each one had that. Sometimes you can only vote for 2 if you wanted to, or not only, but you could only vote for 2 if you didn't feel like 3 met your criteria. Then that was then rolled into what you saw in the final nominations. We even got to have a public vote again. I've had another round of voting myself. And that's what we're going to run through today. We're going to run through each of the categories and nominations. I'm going to tell you what I voted for, because the cool thing about this is that the public voting is now finished. That finished on the 16th. That's all been sorted out in the back history. The Gremlins are sorting that out. Legends who do that sort of thing. So I'm going to be telling you what I voted for, and I want you, if you want to tell me what you voted for or what you would vote for if you didn't vote. And we're going to hash it out together, and we're going to try and guess who's going to win it in each category. So yeah, basically, I want your input on that. I'm going to tell you what I think, but I'm just one guy. This is the whole point of this OSWAs thing is, although yes, it went sort of wider down and down, it's gone back out again to the public. So my opinions don't really matter. I'm just one person, one vote, same as you guys. So it's really a public popularity vote at the end of the day. If you haven't tried the whiskey, you're not going to be able to vote for it. So that's what we're doing. Let's have a little sip of water. I've actually got a line of whiskies here. Some of them are part of the OSWAs voting, and I'm going to be drinking them throughout. I've got something like 6, but hopefully I'm not going to be drinking them all, but we'll see. We'll see. Let me just say hello to a few more people before we get into the first thing, because I'm conscious that I don't want to go too quickly, but hopefully we'll get a good conversation going. I'm going to pick out people that have atted me, because there's a lot of chat. We've got a doc saying that audios and videos great, awesome. Peter saying Roy always lets it run over 2 hours. That's very true, and he's a legend for it. But he's also got a gift of the gab. They say, he's an excellent speaker, and I am not a natural speaker. If you go back and see some of my early videos, you'll see that I've had to learn it all from scratch. So yes, Jerry Miller says hello, thank you. Jimmy Legg is in. He says thanks for stepping in. Absolutely no problem. More than happy to help. I think Roy's even mentioned it a few times in the past that he's asked me to help out over summers and things like that in the past, and I've just not been able to do it. So this time round, I spoke to the wife and we said, let's just do it. Let's do it. Let's keep the lights on and do a live stream. Again, I should do more. Maybe I should do less. I don't know. That's up to you guys. Jimmy Jazz says, good evening, Vin. Barflies and whiskey folks everywhere. Sentiment exactly. Doc's saying he's got some moderator experience, £12 per hour. I think we'll see how Toby gets on. Maybe next time. Sandro, that's a new name for me. Excellent. Thank you very much. He says, happy to have you do this vPub. Ciao from Italy. Ciao indeed. And we have Donna Pass Whiskey. As long as the sex box don't show, we're usually a pretty unruly crowd. I like it. Yeah, I think Toby, he's going to be on it, but I've just sort of said to him to do whatever he wants to do. No Rolex says, have you kidnapped Roy? No, unfortunately, he's on holiday. I say unfortunately for you guys, but fortunately for him, he's on holiday on Arran. Although I imagine a bit of a working holiday, knowing Roy. I'm not even sure if he'll still be around. Hopefully he's just popped in and gone again, but we'll see. Wow, okay. I've just scrolled down and there's loads of stuff here. Ben Marnick's in. Thank you very much. Andrew Butler. Sorry, didn't at you the first time. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Didn't see it, but the at's important, especially today. On my usual live streams, I'll probably pull 30 or 40 people, so it's a bit easier to maintain, but we're at 155 now, so I'm going to miss it if you don't at me. Skinny Boy Barbecue, my buddy Mike. If you like your barbecue, go and check out that channel. He says, I'm awesome. Thanks. Maybe not awesome, but I appreciate what you're saying. We've got a few people. Watchman and Don are excited to hear about the OSWAs and what I think. We'll see. Okay. 15 minutes of saying hello. Okay, I'm doing all right. What does Roy normally do? A good 20 minutes monologue, but let's get into it. So my face is going to get small now, and I might bring it back a little bit more. And we're going to add to stream. Look at that. Amazing. Graham sorted this out for me. He's a legend. So hopefully you can all see me still all right. This is small on my screen, but I don't know what you're watching on. So the first category then we have is the best value whiskey. That's a big category, right? Because that can mean anything to a lot of people. Value to me is something like, it's like experience versus cost, but it could also mean the cheapest possible to some people. You can see from the long list, the short list, sorry, but you can see there's a bit of a vibe about it. We're talking about sort of mid-range to early range age-stated scotches. So that's the kind of what we're looking at here. Hopefully you can see here, but I'm going to read them out anyway, so in case you don't know what the bottles are. We've got the Isle of Arran 10-year-old, 46%. The Bunnahabhain 12-year-old, 46.3. The Glencadam 10-year-old. The Kilkerran 12-year-old. The Leipzig 10-year-old. There's going to be a lot of pronunciation trouble in this, I'm sure. And the Loch Lomond 12-year-old. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the bottles involved, because they're all excellent bottles, right? One of the things I set myself when I did my voting, and that's the same for when I did my mid collaborative voting to also my final voting, is I set myself a bit of a target. So they had to be bottles that I'd actually covered, and I'm not talking about samples, but bottles that I have bought and that I've covered and would buy again. I mean, these are general rules for the OSWAs anyway, right? So the idea behind the OSWAs is completely independent and whatnot. Of course, that some of us, we work with industry and whatnot, but all of those bottles are disregarded entirely. And they've got things to check that. So there's no point even trying to filter that through. So that's a big one for me straight away, because I haven't covered the Arran 10. I haven't covered the Glencadam 10. I haven't covered the Leipzig 10, and I haven't covered the Loch Lomond 12. All of those I'll caveat with a yet. I do one review a week, and that equals about 52 a year. Of course, maybe more, maybe less, depending if I have a gap or whatnot. So I can't do everything, but I'll get to them if they're still around when I do get to them. Jason Bradford's just sent a super chat. Thank you very much, Jason. I really appreciate that. Lee J saying, don't tell Roy, but I can actually see you in small screen mode. Can't normally see Roy. Maybe that's because of my white background. Roy's got a lovely set. So I might stand out a little bit more. So yeah, I mean, on this particular one, then I'm going to move on to my picks straight away, because I've just given it away by telling you what I've covered and what I haven't. I've covered the Bunnahabhain 12. I've covered the Kilkerran 12. Of course, as I said earlier, we were allowed to vote for 2 in each one. The interesting thing is that we were allowed to pick a people's choice, and I'll go into the people's choice throughout this as well. But the kind of general census of the people's choice is that you can chuck in any bottle you like, and the top 10 of those will be announced on the night. For each category, I think that's what they're doing. The top 10 for each one, so you'll get a list. None of these will win any awards. No one's going to get anything printed out. But it's important to recognize what you guys think, because obviously you've got 6 to pick from there, and if you haven't tried any of them, you need to tell us what you've tried. And a few people are saying, right, so a few people here, if you want to put in your choices here, please do. Whether you want to do 1 or 2, that's fine, or put in your people's choice, that's fine. But what I want you to think about while we're going through this is, yes, what your personal favorites are, but what we're here to talk about today is what we think will win. That's an important distinction, because what I think is better might not be what is the most popular. While we're mulling that over, my first dram of the night is my palette setter. While we've got the small screen on. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's be professional about it, shall we? Let's go back to full screen for a second. I meant to talk about this earlier, but as always, I forgot. So yeah, my palette set today is the Cardew Gold Reserve. That's not in the OSWAs at all. But for me, it was just going to liven things up a little bit to get the palate going. Lovely. Cheers. In fact, that's going to be a review of mine coming up soon. Let's get the big one back up. Let's see what people are saying. Please do let me know. Please do let me know. And at me as well, because I'm going to miss it. Genuinely, I'm going to miss it. I know I'm going to keep saying that. Rob Halford saying that Bunnahabhain was his second pick. Kilkerran and the L10 for them. Yeah, good. I mean, this is the thing, right? There's no bad whiskies here. True. There's no bad whiskies here. So whatever you pick is going to be a good whiskey. That might not be true of every category. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Jimmy Legg says I'm half right. So one of those he thinks is good. We'll see. We will see. Drew saying, I know you wanted to put the Johnny Walker White Walker in. Maybe for best blended. Nah. The only reason I would ever vote for the White Walker is I don't know, whiskey that made my channel like mostly what it is today. I got like genuinely like 2,000 subscribers from that video, which is nuts, absolutely nuts. And I don't know, didn't expect that to happen at all. I just covered it like I covered anything else, and it blew up. Never going to try that again. Yeah, moving on. Nick Gascoigne. Yeah, okay. So now we're talking about who he thinks win here. So he chose the Kilkerran 12 and the Leipzig 10, but he thinks the Arran 10 will win. And I have to say, I concur. I think it won Best Whiskey last year. So yeah, it's well regarded whiskey. I have tried it, and that's an important thing to say. I haven't covered it on the channel yet. I have tried it, and it is lovely. Of course, it is. Arran's got an interesting flavor profile to it that makes it stand out above all others. It went for a rebrand fairly recently, which I think knocked it back a little bit. Not in my opinion, but just in the sales. And I think it's recovered well from that because people have realised that ultimately the label doesn't really matter. Yes, it looks nice on your shelf, but it doesn't really matter. Glencadam 10, of course, is a well-regarded whiskey as well, especially Ralphie. Ralphie really rates Glencadam. I do too. Again, not covered it. Leipzig, which again we'll get into a bit later on. Stunning distillery. Obviously Tobermory and Loch Lomond makes some excellent stuff, which does sort of lead me on to my next dram. I'm a bit behind on my drams, but I'm going to go into them anyway. And that is let's go full screen again. The Barflies Loch Lomond, which currently is the only Loch Lomond I've got. But excuse me, a stunning whiskey nonetheless. I think I need to have some of that to clear whatever's in my throat. Let's go back to the screen. Okay, so what are people thinking then for this? I know I've said Arran 10 is hard to get. Arne says. Could be. I actually haven't tried to get it recently. People still dropping in. Good. Ryan McLeave, I just seen him drop in. Thanks very much. Hell says controversial, but we think the Arran 10 is probably the weakest there. I don't think that's controversial at all. I mean, I know what you're saying. It's a popular choice. It's a popular choice. But that's your opinion, and that's what this is all about. You know, your opinion is valid. That said, it's in your opinion it's the weakest, but what do you think will win? Okay. So Watchman saying, can you remind us what's in your glass tonight? So what I've done so far is I've had I should get the bottles ready. I've had the Cardew Gold, just as a bit of a palate setter. And I've literally just moved on to the Barflies Loch Lomond. I will imagine not many of you got this left, but it's been sat in the back of my cabinet, so I don't kill it. I am going to review it at some point, but there's no rush on that because it's already sold out. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be bringing out some bottles as I go through, and they'll be relevant to the categories. So in fact, what I should do then is I should leave the bottle that I'm currently drinking like here or something so you can see it. I mean, it's tiny on your screen, I know, but we'll see. Okay, Jeff thinks that the Buna 12 will win. Easy to get and on offer a lot this year. Correct. Now, that's an important distinction because, again, what I was talking about before about value, it means different things to different people. So if it means it's very available and constantly on deal, that might be your criteria for that. But all you're given to make your choice is best value whiskey. So you have to decide from that. Okay, I don't want to dwell too much on each category because otherwise it will be a 2.5-hour stream. But there you go. So yeah, Neil Laverty says evening to everybody. Glencadam 10 will win. I think it could. The Kilkerran is hard to find now. It's gone up in price as well, so I voted for it. But when I bought it, it was £35, and it isn't that anymore. It's not much more than that, but they've cited it at 60 quid, 50 quid, sorry. But I think it is a bit cheaper than that. Okay, everyone ready to move on? Let's move on. Right. Next, we have the first of 2 blended whiskey categories. This is the best blended whiskey, which again, you've got kind of free reign to go with that. The next one is going to be the best blended malt, which is an important distinction again. So yeah, this one, I think people have, if it hasn't got malt in it, or it's got some malt in it, but it isn't like exclusively malt, I think this is what people have gone for here. Now, you'll be forgiven for not being able to see these bottles; they're quite small. So I'll read them out. Go again, top to bottom. We have the black bottle, which I do have. I do have it here, but it's empty. This is going to be on my next Whiskey and Whiskey Out. I just killed that, unfortunately. I didn't know that it was going to be, or I was going to be doing this before I killed it. But actually, Sugar Kitty has raised something important here. There was a distinct option to no vote. If you felt like you didn't have an opinion or didn't like any of them or something like that, then a no vote was valid. Hopefully, Sugar Kitty, you put in something in the People's Choice to give your vote up. But yeah, so yeah, where was I? Black bottle. The next one is the Compass Box Great King Street Artists Blend. Bit of a mouthful, but there is other Great King Streets like the Glasgow Blend. So the distinction is important. I'm not going to go into kind of makeup and things like that here today. We're just going to talk about the bottles. We've got the Cutty Sark Prohibition Edition. Nice way of saying that. I like that. Rolls off the tongue. The Nika from the Barrel. Controversial at the moment in the news, in the whiskey news at least anyway, for not being a Japanese whiskey and mostly from Ben Nevis. But I don't think that matters. I have to say, don't think that matters as long as they're transparent about it not being Japanese whiskey. But that's whatever. Next up, we have the Thompson Bros 6-year-old TB/BSW, whatever that means. I have to say, I don't know anything about that bottle whatsoever. So if you've got any knowledge about that, chuck it in the comments. And then finally, we have the White Heather. I said that proper with my accent. That's my actual accent. That is White Heather. White Heather, 15-year-old blended Scotch. Yeah. Okay. So interesting choices here. I thought, I have to say, I'm surprised Black Bottle got into the shortlist. Not because I don't like it. It's an excellent value whiskey, but I don't know, when you put it in the same leagues as like any of them, I don't think it quite matches. That's just my opinion. Let's see what other people are saying before I reveal mine. Donna Pass Whiskey went with the Nika, just the Nika, I think, apparently. Andrew Pearce says the Thompson Brothers is a very, very good, but I've only had that and the Cutty Sark. That's fine. I think that's the thing. When it comes to this, you can't have tried everything. So you just got to do your best. Anthony Lambert says this was the only category I didn't vote for because I hadn't tried any of these, unfortunately. Yep, valid. Ben Marnock voted for the Thompson Bros. Andrew Butler's voted for the Thompson Bros. I was telling me what it means. Thompson Bros, literally TB Thompson Bros and blended Scotch whiskey. Sound. They're just lazy. Maybe they were getting charged per letter. Whiskey Games. Didn't like the taste profile on the Thompson Bros. Too many different flavour mix-ups. I'll take your word for that one. Donna Pass Whiskey is they're saying that it's Yoichi Miyagi Q, whatever, Nika Coffee Grain and Ben Nevis. Probably. I did that video so many years ago when I kind of probably didn't know what I was talking about. So yeah, we're all learning. We're all learning. Shay's in. Hello, Shay. He says, apparently the Thompson Bros blended Scotch is a teaspooned Macallan. Could be. Teaspooning is rife in the industry, unfortunately, but I get it. I get it. Okay, let's have a cheeky reveal of what I picked. Might not be a surprise to you, considering what I talked about there, but I've gone for the Compass Box Artist Blend, which I covered many, many years ago now, but still maintains. It's a great value whiskey as well, but it's really good tasting whiskey. And I picked the Nika from the barrel, which, yes, it's not a true Japanese whiskey, but it's still one of the best tasting, best value, even though it's a half litre. I mean, it's creeping up in price now, but I still think it's pretty good whiskey, that it has had some Japanese influence in a time when we've not been able to get much Japanese whiskey over here for a decent price, and yet the Nika from the barrel is still on our shelves for the same sort of price. Maybe they're just trying to get rid of that stock that says Japanese whiskey on it in Japanese. Maybe, I don't know. I'm still drinking the Loch Lomond Aqvavitae. I think I've got more on from that, but oh, we got our first comment to be moderated. Boom, I'm going to hit that. Show it. It's because you said the word cock, I'm afraid, but yeah, sensitive. It's sensitive. I don't know why that's been held for review. Nika is the perfect size to hide in the drawer at work. Apparently that got moderated. Oh well. Not by Toby. I mean, that's an auto moderation. Toby's probably struggling to keep up with the chat like I am. Okay, so there are my choices. What do you think of that? Good choices? Bad choices? I've got a feeling that the White Heather 15-year-old is the best one here. I haven't tried it. It's expensive. £58 they've put on the website. But yeah, I haven't tried it yet. If I have, I've tried a wee sample of it and I've forgotten about it. Might be not a reflection of it per se. I get a lot of samples, but yeah, I've got a sneaking suspicion that that's going to be the one that that tastes the best objectively. But will it be the most popular one? A tough call. A tough call. I've got a suspicion that either one of my choices would be the top one here. That's just me. That's just what I think. Hopefully, you guys have got your own opinions on that and you'll drop that to me. It's a difficult one because, you know, blends in the wider community, excuse the banging, in the wider community, it blends like they're struggling sometimes. But to us, to people that are here, we know better, right? Anthony Lambert says, could I just say quickly that I reckon Roy should do his next vPub wearing a No Nonsense Whiskey baseball cap as a thank you for tonight. Do you know what? He did his last one wearing the No Nonsense Whiskey polo shirt. So I'll forgive him for that. I'm wearing his now. I've changed my camera angle a little bit, so it'll dip below sometimes. But I'm wearing his tonight in solidarity. But you don't want to see my barnet, so I'm hiding it under the No Nonsense Whiskey cap. Nick Gascoigne says, if enough people have tasted the Tea Bros, that should win. There you go. But that's what the thing is, right? People have got to have tried it. People have got to know what it is. I did see a lot of it on social. Ryan McLeave's in Barnet, great word. Yes, some of the classic Vin lingo does come out. I don't hide behind much of a professional facade, that's for sure. Okay, not much chat about this one, so I think I'm going to take that as a sign to move on. We're doing okay. 34 minutes. We've got 7 more categories to go. Hopefully, it's not too slow for you. Let me know what you're drinking below, because that's what we're here for, right? Have a little chat, have a little drink. There's a few people saying artist blend. Did I see that? I'm sure I saw that somewhere. Yes. Okay, let's move on. Next one, then, we have the best blended malt whiskey. I'm going to put that back. I've been a bit enthusiastic with my pouring, So I'm sipping on this. I want to get through it. I want to get through it because I don't want to be drinking 6 drams while I'm on live stream. So yes, we have the best blended malt whiskey. Important distinction. I mean, you can see if you're looking closely, and you've been into the nominations and whatnot. There's a step up in quality, a step up in price. Interesting choices. So we have, going from the top again, we have the Campbelltown Lock blended malt. We have the Compass Box Orchard House. We have the Compass Box Peat Monster. We have the Johnny Walker Green Label 15-year-old. We have another Thompson Bros, the SRV5. I'm just trying to guess what that might mean. SRV. Not a clue. Someone drop it in. Where's Andrew? Tell me what it is. And we have the Douglas Lang Timorous Beastie Meet the Beast. 13-year-old. Is that a 13-year-old? Wow. 69 quid. Oof. Yeah, okay. So we I'm just checking out some other things here. So we have Jeff Whisky saying, really confused how that Meet the Beast got so far. You can get the 18-year-old Beastie often cheaper and leagues better. I'll have to take your word for that because I didn't try this. And Andrew Butler saying SRV means Station Road Vat. So is Shay as well. Excellent. Okay, so some of the choices people are, again, drop your choices in. I'll reveal mine in a moment and we'll talk about the winner. Potential winner. Is someone keeping note of my winners? Because maybe we should have a poll on who gets the most guessed right. Not me. Okay, so Phil Jones says that Campbelltown Lock and his personal choice, the 6 Isles. Sure, I don't know what that is. I'm still learning. I've no idea what every whiskey in the world is. Benny says you'll end up doing your best Roy impersonation and going on for 3 hours. Do you know what? I really hope not, because I need to get up for work at like 6:30 tomorrow. So I could do without being gone midnight, but I'm not going to cut it short. Once the quiz is over, though, it'd be fair game to be last orders, I think. We've got the Anthony saying the Campbelltown Lock for me. I can't get Springbank alternative. Maybe I should get it then, because I can't get Springbank. We're going to talk about that later. Springbank does show up a bit later. Okay, so for this one then, probably everyone will know this, but I've got the green label. I've only just covered it, so that's going to be my dram for this category. Because I bloody love the green label, like we were talking about White Walker a bit earlier on, right? Obviously that was a trash whiskey. Red label, yes, I know it's popular, but that's a trash whiskey. But there's a sweet spot in the range. The range gets silly money. We're talking blue label now. Blue label, silly money. Yes, it's nice, but silly money. This is the sweet spot in the range for me. Absolutely brilliant. So let's drop my choices. No surprises there. We've got the Peat Monster, which I covered again many leagues ago, and the Johnny Walker Green Label, which I've only just covered. Boom. Phil Jones says the blended malt bottled by Ian McLeod. Okay. Donna Pass saying picked Orchard House on this one. Don't see the Campbelltown Lock in California. Sure, I get that. Availability worldwide is going to be a big one. We're reaching more and more people worldwide on Whiskey Tube now, which is great. I love that. Whiskey Franco saying you can walk into work knackered and just say, was man in the pub last night? Well, not many people from work know that I do this yet. I don't really talk about it at work. Conflict of interest, maybe. I don't know. I think I'm not meant to do anything on the side for my contract. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Oh, well, I said it. It's live. Let's go. Let's move on. Cut. Whiskey Game says, I've heard that the Campbelltown Lock is teaspooned with Springbank. Okay. Toby has picked the same as me. Good to hear. Any Fraser said any standouts at Whiskey with Molly? Is he in? He was not meant to be in today. I didn't see his name. Oh, he is in. Just back. He's only just back in. from the James Eddy tasting. Amazing. I didn't think you were going to be in at all. So you've only really missed 40 minutes, which by Roy standard is like 2%. It won't be for me. Okay, Lee J says on that note, 5:30 tomorrow morning. So going to call it. Cheers, fella. Thanks for popping in. Really appreciate that. David Owen saying Peat Monster. Just the Peat Monster? Did you pick a second one? Let us know. So I'm gonna say David. Have I got that right? It might be David with an E, but I'll say David. If I got that wrong, I apologise. People's choice for him. Glencoe, 8-year-old. That's mostly Ben Nevis. Sound. Now, this one here, I find particularly difficult to narrow down what I think might actually win it. Could we go with the popular, like the Johnny Walker? Could we go with the... I don't know. There's a lot of indies here. It could be the Compass Boxes. Tough one. Ethan says the 2 Compass Boxes. I think they're a good shout. The Peat Monster, everyone knows about. I think Orchard House has only recently come out. I say recently in the grand scheme of whiskey, of course. Possibly, Toby says the Campbelltown Lock could win, but just as these guys say, it could be anything. Teddy says, go with integrity. Number 43, please. I'm not sure what you mean. Which one's 43? Do tell. Yes. Well, I'm going to go with it then. David says, if you're in charge of the barfly, you can call me whatever you want. There you go. So you're David now for the rest of it, I'm afraid. Sorry if that's wrong. Okay. I've caught one here. Charles says the green label will win. It's popular for many people. I didn't vote for it, but it seems people like it. I think that's a fair statement. I really like it, as I said earlier. Yeah, I really like it. But and I would buy it again. That's the thing. I would buy it again, and I haven't bought the Peat Monster again. I really should. I have to say, the buying it again thing is an interesting one because Teddy's saying ABV. Gotcha. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, so anything with a good ABV. So yeah, you're talking about no Campbelltown, no Johnny Walker. I'm with it. Yeah. So what was I saying? Buying bottles again. Okay, this is an interesting one for me because I don't really buy bottles again. When we're talking about bottles, people say about bottles that you always have on the shelf. That doesn't really happen to me because I'm always looking for future content. And I'm always looking for new and interesting things that I haven't tried before. So yeah, I mean, if I see something on a deal, maybe, but for me, it costs real money to run this channel. So what I try to do is just try to get things that I haven't covered before. So buying it again is a struggle for me, but things that I would definitely buy is what I try to go for. Okay, David saying no, just the Peat Monster. Okay. What's Andrew Butler saying? I'm biased. I want Phil and Simon to win. Simon and Phil to win every category they can. I get it. Absolutely. And I'm going to get into that a little bit later on as well, because some of my votes are based just on people that I want to win sometimes. Not necessarily my preference, but there you go. You can vote however you like. Donna Pass saying, when I first started, I could not tolerate any peat, and the green helped get your foot in the door. Excellent. Toby saying, have I ever bought a bottle twice? Yes, but not very often. It would have to be an extreme unmissable deal for me to buy a bottle twice, but that's it. Yeah, Shay saying that he's the same as me, but just not as a content creator, just that he would rather try something new than buy a whiskey he's had before. Valid. Some people really hone in on whiskies they love and have the same ones over and over again, and there's no problem with that whatsoever, however you want to enjoy it. Okay. I don't think we've got any more opinions on this, so I'm going to move on. We're doing all right. Next one, then, we have... Now, this one here is a big category. The best non-malt whiskey. Now, I want to read out what their sort of blurb is on this one. Let me scroll to that. The best non-malt whiskey. There's more than one kind of whiskey. This category is open to all grain types, excluding malt. So I guess you can have a bit of malt in there, but it's not predominant. So we're talking rye, corn, wheat, and anything else is included, opening up many other styles of whiskey, including bourbon. This one's a bit of a struggle because, like, I don't know, bourbon should probably have its own category in my opinion, but that's just me. But it's got to be easy for these guys to do. We're talking it's Ralphie and Roy with a few people that are helping them out in the background. This is not a huge industry-led initiative, so they don't have the time to get on with it. But I get it. So yeah, we've got a bit of a smorgasbord of drams in here. We've got the Elijah Craig. I learned that when I did the video because obviously I would say Craig, being British, but it's Elijah Craig if you say it in true American. That's the barrel proof, so that's the real high ABV one. This is saying 120 quid now. Is that right? Is it 120 quid now? I haven't looked to buy one of these for a long time, and they weren't that much before. The Four Roses single barrel, the Loch Lomond single grain peated. They're citing 27 quid for that, but you can get that very often for like £18 if you're savvy. The Redbreast 12-year-old cask strength, the Wild Turkey 101, and the Wild Turkey rare breed. I still think it's weird that that you've got something like Loch Lomond and Redbreast mixed in with 4 bourbons, but sure, okay. Fraser's saying, how does the Wild Turkey rare breed compare to the 101? League's different, if you ask me. I haven't covered the 101 yet, but I did a Wild Turkey tasting many years ago now, actually. Rare breed is exceptional value. The Wild Turkey 101 is for sure as well, but it's yeah, I don't know. It's lovely. I wouldn't go as far as going down to the 81, or I think they just call that the Wild Turkey now. But the 101 is lovely. But if you really want a great tasting bourbon, then look no further than the rare breed, or the Four Roses single barrel. But we'll get into that in a moment. Okay, so let's see what people are picking. Ethan saying the Elijah Craig and the Redbreast are my picks. Fair. Andrew Pierce saying, yeah, they cut our language from us and they are wrong. I get it. Yeah, I get it. Okay. Whiskey Franco says, hard to get. Prices are rising. Elijah Craig barrel proof. ECBP. Yes. Here in the States. Yes, because people know about it now. Right. In the UK, we weren't so savvy on bourbon even 5 years ago. But people know about it now, and it's more of it's going to come over here, and you're going to find it harder and harder to get. Yeah, true story. Okay, Nick says the Redbreast. Can't look past that. Fair enough. I've often been cited. I'm not like the world's biggest Irish whiskey fan. I like it. I should cover more of it. But yeah. Phil Jones says, what recommendations do you have for my first bourbon whiskey? Good question. And that will lead me on to my picks. So let's reveal them. Boom. We've got the rare breed. Getting my bourbons mixed up. The Four Roses single barrel and the Loch Lomond single grain peated. Weird choices, I think you'll find. But I could only pick 2. And I was very close to picking the Four Roses single barrel and the rare breed because they're both exceptional. But I thought I'd just go for one bourbon. And the reason why I picked the Four Roses single barrel is because it was my turning point with bourbon. I found bourbon to be quite strong in flavour when I first started drinking it. Obviously, the virgin oak has a massive part in that. A completely different grain to what I'm used to at the time anyway. So I think it's mostly corn led, this one, because it's a bourbon. But I tried a few, liked them mostly, and then I tried the Four Roses single barrel, and it blew my mind. It's so good. I haven't had a bottle for a few years now, so I don't know what it's like. Of course, it is single barrel, so each barrel will be different. You can go back and check my video of the one I had. I think that'll be long gone. I mean, we're talking years ago now. So yeah, that was where I started with. You can't go wrong with the rare breed as well. But I think the single barrel is a little bit cheaper. The Four Roses single barrel is a little bit cheaper if you can get it. That's where I would go. If you don't like that, I think you're probably going to struggle with the category, to be honest. But just with anything, don't stop unless you find it so distasteful you can't bear it anymore. Don't stop with just the ones that you've tried. Try more. Go to a bar. Try some other bourbons. Whatever. Keep going. I'm doing that with rye right now because rye, I really don't get on with rye. So yeah, I'm still trying, but it's taking me years. Okay. Anthony Lambert says, I do like my bourbon, so the winner would have to be the 101, but his people's choice was the Eagle Rare 10. Agreed. The Eagle Rare 10 is exceptional value for a 10-year-old as well. You don't often see an age statement, and they did have it on the front at one point, but they moved it to the back, so it's still there, but I don't know why they bothered moving it. Weird. Oh, my chat skipped. There it is. Blackfen says, if it had been me choosing the nominations, there would have been at least 3 ryes. This is what I mean. And there probably were a lot of ryes voted for, but I can't imagine ryes being more popular than the choices that you've seen here. So yeah, that's probably why it died on its wayside. But yeah, this is the thing. You could have 100 different categories to really niche down on each one. But yeah, Andrew Butler saying to Phil that the first bourbon he liked was Woodford Reserve. A solid choice and cheaper as well. Good place to start. Yeah, Ethan saying that the age name is on the back. It is on the back for now. I don't know if it's going to move on. Okay, so those are my picks for the best non-malt. I've told you the reason why I've picked the Four Roses, but the reason why I picked the Loch Lomond single grain is because it was one of those ones that really evolved for me over time. I picked it up for £18, like I mentioned earlier, and it was not good when I opened the bottle. I couldn't see what the fuss was about. I didn't understand it. It tasted weird, which I wasn't expecting. And I went back to it again, and it tasted weird, and I didn't like it. And I was like, I don't get it. So then I left it like I do. If I don't like a bottle, I'll make sure I drink probably about this much out of it, and then I'll stick it on the shelf for 3 months, and I'll come back to it. And when I came back to it, I was like, this is not the same whiskey that I was drinking before. It's so much better. And I don't know if it was me or whatever, but I just kept trying. And eventually it got to a point where it sung, and now the bottle's gone because I couldn't leave it alone, and it was lovely. And I love that. I love it when a bottle does that to me. It doesn't always work. Sometimes I still don't like bottles, even after 3 months, and I'll just leave them, but it's what happens. Sorry, Ethan's clarifying. No, they've moved it back to the front again. There you go. That shows how long it's been since I've had one of those. But yeah, so it is back on the front. And Whiskey with Molly is saying the reason why you picked the single grain is because it's banging. It is banging. Okay, time for a sip of water. Oh, let's move on. We're nearly at an hour. Where's that time gone? Thanks for sticking with me. Okay, now we're moving on to some expansive points. Best distillery. Oof. What do you do with that? Like the guy, I mean, obviously you've got 6 to pick from, but imagine if you were in the first round of people where you've got literally every distillery on the planet to pick from. I mean, yeah, all right, fair enough. These are all Scottish, but that's just how it goes, right? This is the online Scotch Whisky Awards. There's going to be, I don't know about bias, not bias necessarily, but that's just where we lean. Okay, Scotch is extremely popular. So yeah, that's what we've got. So in case you can't see what the words are or don't recognize the logos, we've got the Ardnamurchan distillery. We've got the Isle of Arran, they're calling it Loch Ranza now. Sure. The Bruichladdich distillery, the Glen Scotia, the Loch Lomond, and finally Springbank. Now, this is going to be a good one because I imagine it's going to be a popularity contest with this, right? Because you're just picking which one you like the best. Now, this one's a real difficult one for me because I haven't, again, when I said earlier, in case you missed that, I set myself a target that I had to have covered something from that range, at least in the last few years, for me to qualify. But and we're talking bottles here. Now. I'm not talking samples. I'm not talking in a bar. I'm not talking around a friend's house. I'm talking me having bought a bottle and covered it on the channel. I have not done that with Ardnamurchan. It's been years since I covered a bottle of Arran. We're talking before the rebrand. Bruichladdich, yes, I've covered a bit of that. Glen Scotia, no. I nearly bought that festival bottle, but something pulled my finger away. I don't know why. Loch Lomond, yes, you've seen I've covered at least one of those. And Springbank, good luck covering that. I cannot get Springbank for love nor money, and we're talking about, like, I mean, we've all got connections, right? But I've got a few more connections than most. And okay, maybe I could probably get it if I wanted it, but I'm not paying over the odds for a bottle of any whiskey. You know, I'm not paying secondary market. I'm not paying inflated prices in boutique whiskey shops. I've got enough bottles to be getting on with. I mean, I've got, like, in my review queue, I've got, like, I don't know, another 3 months worth of reviews to type me over. So I don't get involved in any of that FOMO nonsense. But that to say, I'm not criticizing anyone who likes that sort of thing. It's just not for me. Okay, so let's see what people are saying before I reveal mine again. Donna Pass saying Arran for me. Of course, Arran is going to be a very popular decision. Springbank again, yeah, but good luck finding it. Exactly that. Whisky with Molly is saying, if I can only buy from one distillery, it's Springbank, but he voted for Glen Scotia for availability and quality. Absolutely fine. And again, this is one of those categories where you've really got to figure out what it means to you, what best means. Does it mean the most mind-blowing whiskey you've ever tried, or does it mean something that you can nip down to Tesco's and buy? In which case, probably none of these, right? But Loch Lomond, you can get in Tesco's. Don is saying he voted Loch Lomond, but my write-in vote was for Balcones. Nice. Okay. I should point out as well, I didn't exercise my people's vote on any of these so far. I don't know why. There's only one I exercised my people's vote for, and I'll show you why when we get there. What else have we got coming in? Phil says Bruichladdich and Springbank, and his people's choice was Kilkerran. Solid choices. Okay, here's my reveal then. Just one. Could have voted for two, but I went for Loch Lomond. It's been a while since I covered a Bruichladdich. I love Bruichladdich. But I went for, the reason why I went for it is because of the pure scope of the various whiskies that Loch Lomond can make. The different stills they've got. They could just make so many different flavors, so many different whiskies, that if I could only pick one distillery to ever drink from ever again, it'd probably be them, just because I could get so many different kinds of whiskey from under their banner. Obviously we've got the Roy's Barflies dram from there, and that's exceptional as well. So yeah, Jeff Whiskey saying Springbank ain't at your local Tesco's. No, sir. Although I don't go to Tesco's much anymore, I have to say, since I moved house. Drew saying Ardnamurchan for him. Nothing wrong with that. And it's in the only one he can surely eliminate is Bruichladdich. Okay, fair enough. Jeff saying Loch Lomond really gained a lot of following after Aqvavitae bottle, of course. And Andrew saying that the one thing he didn't realize on the first OSWAs is that you can double down in people's votes if your choice is already listed. Yeah. So that's it. Actually, that's a good point to make, because it does mention it, but no one really knows that. You could put Loch Lomond like I voted for now, and then in the people's choice, you could vote for that again. It doesn't help the final vote, because only the votes on the 6 here count. It doesn't double the vote for that thing, but it would give it an extra boost in the people's choice, make it higher or whatnot. But yeah, I'm not sure what you'd gain from doing it, but it can be done. It can be done. And Watchman saying the like button has been hit. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I'm not really keeping up with any of that. I have to admit. I find it going back to the beginning of the thing. I'm finding it quite dazzling how many people are in here watching this, which is astounding. I love it. So I'm trying hard not to look at the stats because I might freak out a little bit. But yeah, thank you very much for hitting the like button. I'll check all that out tomorrow when the dust has settled, and Roy can ring me up and tell me what hash I've made of his vPub. David says also voted for the Loch Lomond, and the people's choice was Middleton. Nice. Yeah, again, a good choice because the breadth of whiskies that they make, maybe not in terms of style, but they've got a lot of brands underneath them, if that went. And Michael was saying there's a lot of chatter about Benromach. Yes, indeed. I do have a Benromach coming up before Christmas. Keep an eye on the channel for that. Hopefully, you've all subscribed to me now if you've come over from Roy. Would love that. But, you know, it is what it is. A few people saying thanks for the pub. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, we're at the 1 hour mark, and I feel like moving on to my next whiskey. So hopefully it's the next category. Let's see. It is. Okay. Now we have the best new distillery. Now, this is another one I want to read out to you because what does new mean, right? So their cutoff is founded in the last 10 years. So that's a good one because, I don't know, there's a lot of new distilleries coming out, right? Some ones that haven't got any whiskey yet that we'll probably see soon. Yeah, and I have to say, you know what I'm going to say here, guys. You know it deep down. Two English whiskey distilleries have made the cut this year, which is nuts. And we'll see how that goes on my votes later. Yeah, why not? So let's see what we've got then. Okay. We've got the Ardnamurchan Distillery again. We have Bimber down in London. We have the Cotswolds Distillery, which I think it used to be technically my closest distillery, but now I think that might be Spirit of Birmingham. It's definitely the closest one that's got whiskey, put it that way. The Glasgow Distillery, obviously in Glasgow. The Isle of Arran. I've actually never heard anyone say that out loud. Raasay. Is it Raasay? Raasay? I don't know. And here's one. Come on. Torabeg. I think it's a V, isn't it? Torabeg. I don't know. Okay, so this is a good one because obviously these are all new. Some people, as they're quite rightly saying on here, Ethan's saying couldn't have voted from any of them because he hasn't tried any of them. Fair. New distilleries are hard to get, especially the brand new ones. The inaugural releases are like rocking horse poop, as they say. Yeah, Don saying on an English theme, the Spirit of Yorkshire is quite enjoying Filey Bay. Yes, I'm trying to work on a tasting to get Spirit of Yorkshire on. I think it might be next year now, though. They're struggling for stock because they're popular. They're popular. So let me know what you think your choices might be. Hopefully you've tried some of these. This might be the one. But again, let me know what distillery you would have picked. There's plenty to choose from. You must have tried a new distillery that's less than 10 years old. You must have. Ryan saying that Cotswolds is good stuff. It is. Nick Gascoigne saying Cotswolds and Raasay, but you think Ardnamurchan will pip them all. Interesting choice. Donna Pass has picked Cotswolds. Good. Yes. Choices for Ardnamurchan here and Raasay again. Interesting. Now, Watchman's asking, is Lakes less than 10 years old? I think it is. I don't know. I didn't check it out. Jimmy Jazz is saying Cotswolds. Ben Marnock, I think, is heading to Filey Bay soon. If I can get there, I will. We'll see. Anthony Lambert saying that my pet category at the moment, buying lots of young whiskey from new distilleries. Glasgow gets my vote. I have to say, I'm in there with you on that one. I'm very interested in new distilleries that are releasing whiskey for a good value. And by that I mean that they're not releasing like single barrel first releases that are like £100 for 3-year-old whiskey. I don't want to get bogged down in age because a 3-year-old whiskey can be great, but I don't think that an inaugural release, people are buying those just for secondary market, right? You know, there's not many people that are buying them to pop them open straight away. Probably everyone watching this would do that. They would pop it. They'd buy it for drinking experience. So preaching to the choir. Okay, let's talk about these then. So okay, Ardnamurchan again. I haven't tried that, so can't vote for that. Isle of Arran, haven't tried that. Can't vote for that. Torveg, haven't tried that. Have I tried that? Tried it in a bar, I think, but haven't tried. Never had a bottle, never covered it, so can't vote for any of those. That leaves me with Bimber, Cotswolds, and the Glasgow Distillery. I'll tell you what whiskey I've got for this category as well, which is the Glasgow's latest. Let's go full screen again. Oh, it's been a while. You see me face. Hello. We have the Glasgow cognac finish, which I'm surprised didn't sell out. It's a special. This is it's so good. Watch my review of it. It's so good. I thought I was going to miss it, so I didn't buy it. And then I was drinking with the guys on Discord, and they told me it was still in stock, and I bought it. Not cheap. It's like 65 quid, something like that. Maybe a bit less, 60 quid. But yeah, stunning. So yes. That's the one I'm drinking for this one. Let's go back up to the main screen. Boom. Okay. So I'm obviously picking the Glasgow Distillery, right? And then I have to pick one of the English ones. And I went for Cotswolds, of course. Now, I love Bimber. I've got a bottle of Bimber over here. Chose not to bring it out for this one. I thought I'd go for the Glasgow one. Because I can never get hold of it. I can't get hold of Bimber. It's so popular. Like it's unbelievably popular. And with good reason. And I hate to say that because it's pure hype Bimber, but it's hype that's deservedly so. It's good whiskey. What they're making in 3 years, 4 years, whatever, is stunning, absolutely stunning. But I just can't get hold of the damn thing. You know, and I'm like I said earlier, I'm not the guy who finds out when bottles are going to be available online and sits there at whatever time, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., whatever. And I'm just not that person. I can't be bothered when I can get something else without any effort whatsoever. So I let everyone else just go nuts on Bimber. So that's the reason why I didn't pick it today. Cotswolds again. I'm a massive supporter of Cotswolds. That said, caveat as always, they're releasing some questionable releases at the moment. And when I say questionable, I don't mean in terms of quality, but they've just released a new range. I've got a sample of it from industry, but I won't talk about that too much. It was okay, but it was 100 quid. Oh, I was like, 100 quid is a lot for something that was good, that just good. I expect a lot more for my money on that. But yeah, they've done some excellent releases in the past. The Founders Reserve remains one of my absolute favourite whiskies, English whiskies at least, but one of my favourite whiskies anyway. And they've got some excellent value. You know what I mean? Their core range, their core bottle has come down in price since the first releases, which isn't nuts. It's now £39, which is a bargain. Definitely worth checking them out. Doc saying that the cognac is €85 for a 4-year-old. No. I get you, buddy. But try it. It's good. It is good. I managed to get a sample of it before I bought it, and then, as I often will, put my money where my mouth is, and I bought it. There you go. Hell says Bimber is overrated. Yeah, it definitely, for the prices, it definitely is. If I could get it for 50, 60 quid when I used to be able to get it for that price, then it was fine. But I'm not paying secondary market. No Rolex says that the Cotswold standard is £30 in Sainsbury's most of the time. There you go. Absolute bargain. Jimmy Jazz, I love Bimber too, but they're not making whiskey for me. No, they're not. Which is a shame, isn't it? But they've got their new distillery, right? There's a new distillery in Scotland called Dunfail being made, and that's Bimber. So let's hope they figure out what they're doing with that, and let's hope, because their place, if, you've got to look up Bimba, right? You've got to go and see them, because their place is so small. Like, it's unbelievably small. Like, you can do the distillery tour by standing in one spot and just rotating on the spot. Genuinely, really fascinating how they're doing it in that space. But the Dunfale is a from scratch distillery being built in Scotland, so they're going to obviously be making a Scotch, and I think they've gone all out with capacity. So hopefully they won't have this problem in the future. They'll just be, the first few releases obviously are going to go like, as we expect them to. But hopefully once that all settles down, they'll have a core range that we could just get, and everyone will be happy. There you go. That's my 2 pence. That's my 2 pence. Dunfale. Yeah. Am I saying that right? It's Dunfale, right? Again, I sometimes if I don't hear the word being said to me out loud, I have to just make it up, the pronunciation. That's what it is. So yeah, I think we've had some people saying different things. Not many people have said Torveg. I'm definitely saying that wrong. Not many people have said that that's what they would pick. So I'm going to doubt that's going to win. Ardnamurchan could be a good call. I think. Put my name on the neck now. I think one of the English distilleries could win this. Wouldn't that be a pip? Let's see. Cotswolds or Bimba. I think. I personally would go for new distillery. I think, because I think Cotswolds is getting to the point where it's not really new anymore. It's not over 10 years old, but we're getting there. Glasgow, I don't think is popular enough to win that one. I don't think, but it made it this far, so who knows? I like it. I didn't actually take a sip of this yet. Let's do it. Peated cognac finish. Love it. Okay. Let's move on. Right. This is the one. Best independent bottler. Now, I really struggle with this because I've tried whiskies from all of these people. No, that's a lie. I told you a lie. I haven't tried from Thompson Bros yet. Sorry, I missed a few things. Andrew says that he voted for Torveg and Locklear for People's Choice. Good, there you go. And Watchman says, can you comment on the whiskey boom and your opinion of the chances of a scale back or slowdown, outright collapse in coming months and years? I'll comment on it, but obviously I'm no professional, so don't take this as like gospel. But if you look at the history of whiskey or any they're a middle class drink, they all started as like peasant drinks, right? So, and popularity has ebbed and flowed throughout history, like this, the sine wave, as they call it. We are more popular as a category than ever before. But that can only mean the crash is going to be harder, right? So I still think that we're on the upward curve of the bell curve. When I say bell curve, I mean, looks like a bell. At some point, we're going to be inundated with whiskey. Now, this is fact, right? So that we have so many new distilleries that haven't put any liquid out yet, that in 10 years' time, we are going to have so much whiskey. And I'm not just talking about Scotland, England. Look at Ireland, right? A few decades ago, they had like 3 distilleries. Now, I don't even know how many there are. There's so many distilleries coming out of Ireland. It's just going to be, we're going to be wet, absolutely wet with whiskey. And it's going to be great for people like us. We're going to pick that up. But people are going to get bored of it. Every year we have the same small sine wave, summer lull back into winter. People, it's a seasonal drink for the masses. I'm talking now, seasonal drink. And it just is what it is. So yeah, to answer the question more succinctly, I think we're still slightly on the upward curve, but that top out could happen at any time. I think it'll be in the next sort of 5-10 years, but I said that 5 years ago, so we'll see. Hopefully, I mean, for me, I love whiskey and I'll be drinking whiskey until the day I die. But and I imagine a lot of you will be too. So we'll still be here doing our live streams, having fun, while the rest of the world goes and drinks whatever they want. But if you're going to carry on watching, I'm going to carry on making. To be fair, even if you don't, I mean, I started with no one watching, so I'll probably end with no one watching as well. Anyway, that's a story for another day. Let's talk about independent bottlers now. Interesting to know what you think about these, because it's so hard to narrow it down to 6, and I haven't voted for any of these. So I'm going to skip to the next slide now. Oh no, I won't, because that will reveal the one I did pick. So let's run through them. We've got the Adelphi Selection. We've got Gordon MacPhail, North Star Spirits, Signatory Vintage, the SMWS, and Thompson Bros. There you go. All good quality whiskey producer. Not producers, but whatever, bottlers. Let's call them bottlers. But I haven't covered any of these on the channel, really, with any gusto. If I was going to pick my favourite based on whiskies that I've tried in the past, it would probably be Signatory. But that's just my opinion on that. Toby saying that there are 42 Irish distilleries. There you go, 42. Yeah, okay. So David saying, what do you think will happen in the bad times? Will the quality go down? No, I don't think so. What will happen is there will be overstocks. That's what I'm talking about. So we'll get to the point where we don't have to rush around for all of these new releases or whatnot, because there'll be so much of it. Like, I mean, already to the point now, I'm getting bored of new releases. I can't go out and do it, but other people are going to get bored of it as well. Like Lakes Distillery is a great example. They're just putting out new release after new release after new release, and they're all the same. Slight differences, they're all the same. Yeah, it is what it is. So I think, but what will happen is then everyone's just going to have loads of stock, and they'll have to do interesting things with it. So it'll be good for us. You know, we're going to have loads of whiskey to drink that we won't have to scrab around for. But the problem with whiskey is you have to forecast when you're making it. If you're a producer, you have to forecast years and years and years in advance. So you just can't tell. It's like it's a gamble. It's a gamble. Yeah. Okay. So Ben saying, what happens when Diageo stops giving IBs, Dalwhinnie, and Linkwood? I don't know. We get it from somewhere else. But yeah, you're right. I mean, anything could change. Anything could change. You know, Diageo wanna like obviously keep themselves as the kingpins. So they're gonna have to do something. Yeah. Okay. People are talking about what they would and wouldn't put in. No Douglas Lang. Nope. There's no Douglas Lang in this list, which is a shame, a real shame. I'm a big fan of Douglas Lang. Okay, let's talk about pronunciation. I get in trouble with this a lot because it's Lane, Douglas Lane. So in my dialect, that would be Lane. But where I'm from, that word is not just Scottish. So I've worked with people with that surname, and they call themselves Lang. So yeah, don't be too harsh on me, because that's ingrained in my brain, and I will never be able to say Douglas Lane in gusto. It will always come to my forefront as Lang. Okay, let's show you who. So again, I didn't vote for any of these because I couldn't, in all good consciousness, vote for any of them. So my pick was my people's choice, which was the Firkin Whisky Company, which won't win because I'm like the only person who drinks it. Now, if I'm honest, there's one I'm drinking now. This is the Kalila. I'm not going to go into the detail about these guys, but they came my way because they sent me a sample pack of the 4, and I love them so much that I bought nearly all of the range from that tasting, and this was one of them that I bought. So yeah, fair enough. They sent me the bottles to start with, but then I bought them based on that. So I feel okay about voting for these, because as with all new brands, I would have probably completely accidentally ignored them. But I mean, I don't know if you've noticed yet, but nearly all of these are peated. Apart from the first 2 that I tried, nearly all of these are peated now. So yeah. Let's see what people are saying. Okay, Anthony Lambert says, as a Welshman, I can't wait for In the Welsh Wind to release their own single malt. dropped you a comment the other day about them at Mirror Bottle. Yeah, thank you very much, because I did cover their independent bottle. And also, I don't know, you might know, if you don't know, I bought a cask of In the Welsh Wind. Get In the Welsh Wind on your radar, because they're a new distillery in Wales, and they're making their whiskey in an ice still, not traditional pot stills. Weird. But I tried their spirit, and it's good. It's good. They're making it in a strange way. But yeah, keep an eye on me for that, because I've got a cask that's now currently aging. When that gets to 3 years old, I'll be putting that out. So yeah. Jeff Whisky, shout out to Firkin. Toby's also drinking Firkin. Ben Whiskey Molly, he's tried them. But yeah, the Kalila and the Leche are both banging. They really are. Really are. Yeah, Don's picking me up about my pronunciation. Okay, let's move on. Whiskey and Molly said, I appreciate it's not widely available, but dram more bottlings. This is the thing with this category. We could go on and on and on and on about the best independent bottlers, because they've all got access to such amazing things. So it's hard to narrow it down. You know, there are so many great producers, bottlers, whatever, that could have been in this list that aren't. But we can only pick 6, and then we can only pick one of this 6. So take it with a pinch of salt. Whoever wins it will be, I mean, okay, if I'm going to guess, it's probably going to be the SMWS, right? Because most people in the world are going to have heard that. I hope that it's signatory, because my Firkin it won't be taken into the run-in. It'll only be the People's Choice. I hope it's signatory. It could be North Star, but I think it's going to be SMWS. Michael Wood saying that What Whisky are doing great things. They are, and they've got access. They've got a long career in whiskey, and they've got access to some incredible bottlings. I need to buy some of theirs, but I've only got so much money. Okay, let's have a little sip of this Kalila. This Kalila finished in a Masala wine cask. Ooh, dingy. Not last orders yet. Don't worry. Oh yeah, we're getting on. I need to push on. Okay, second to last. This is another weird one. Okay, so bear with it. The best world whiskey. Now this, let me see what they say about this. Best world whiskey. So this is basically anything that is not Scotch, essentially, yeah? So everything. Lots and lots of whiskies. Oh, Whiskey with Molly's just given us a super chat. Thank you very much. Doing a fantastic job tonight, Vin. Thank you. It's yeah, I'm doing my best, but yeah, thank you. I'm glad that people are enjoying this. People are sticking around, and I appreciate it, because there is going to be a quiz. Stick around for the quiz. Okay, so best world whiskey. Let's read these out, and then we'll talk about it. Cotswolds English single malt whiskey. This is the standard release, right? The Dingle single malt Irish whiskey. The Cavalan Solist Vino Barrique. The Old Forester 1920 Prohibition style bourbon. The Powers John's Lane 12-year-old. The Redbreast 15. So we have 3 Irish whiskies, 1 English, 1 oh, it's gone from my head. Where'd that come from? Taiwan? I think it's Taiwan. Oh, that's brain fart. That's gone. And then we have a bourbon. Interesting. Again, as I said earlier, this is a struggle, because there is a lot of bottles that could be in these, and you're not going to have tried some of these probably. Yeah, like I don't know. What's probably best to do is just go straight into my choices, right? Because why not? This was a tough one for me, because I really love the Dingle. I've got a bottle of it behind me. It's really lovely. But they sent that to me, so I can't vote for it. So the Cotswolds standard release, I haven't tried it in recent years, but I bought the inaugural release, so it might be different now. But it's really good. For the price, it's really good. The Cavalan, how to say this? I don't really get on with Cavalan. I haven't tried them all, but the ones I have tried, I've not really liked that much. And not for the cited here, £200 plus. That can get in the bin. I have I? I've never spent over £200 on a bottle. Never. And I don't think I will. Not until I have to. 180 quid was the one that I is the most I've ever spent. So yeah, I haven't tried the Powers before. Redbreast 15 is lovely, but I picked the Cotswolds and the Old Forester 1920. Now we talked a little bit earlier about bourbon and what to go for. I bought this back from the US. The bottle's long gone, unfortunately, but if you can get it in the US, they're citing here around £80, but it isn't. It's like $50 probably plus tax. If you go to the US, get a bottle of the Old Forester 1920s, because if you're into bourbon, this is is it cask strength? Nearly, whatever. It's high ABV, 57.5%. I think it's a masterclass of bourbon, personally. So yeah, let's see what people are saying. Don't forget to at me, people. Lawrence, did I go to? Yeah, Lawrence Bowers, Cotswolds all day long. Agree? Not sure it's going to win it though. Oh, it might though. It might. This is a weird category because there aren't any like super heavy hitters in it. You know what I mean? Hells is saying Cotswolds and Dingle, fair choices, and the Lakes Whiskey Makers Reserve 5 people's vote. Fine. Jeff Whiskey, tough category. Got to be the Dingle, then the Cotswolds, and I put forward Penderyn Rich Oak, which is a stunning whiskey. Love that whiskey. Ethan says voted for Powers and Redbreast 15. Haven't had the top 3. Old Forester 1920s is a disappointing fuse. Okay, fair enough. I thought it was good, but you know, each to their own. That's the beautiful thing about whiskey. Phil Jones picked Cotswolds, excellent, and the Penderyn Peated for the People's Choice, another excellent whiskey. Love that. Andrews voted for the Cavalan and Powers, nice, and a Canadian in the People's Choice. Ooh, Doc shares Cavalan issues, and so does Hells. Yes, just how my flavour profile goes. Anthony voted for the bourbon. Yep. Something from Germany. Yes. Why not? You know, that's what. Hopefully, it'll get in, but maybe. Watchman's a big fan of the 1920. Yes. Rob Halford's high praise for the 19. I think it's deserved, but you know. Yeah, Prohibition is not cask. Okay, it's not cask strength. Fair enough. Wasn't sure. Couldn't remember. Yes, a few people putting Penderyn in. Good shout. I didn't. Again, I didn't exercise my people's choice here. Okay. Let's move on to the big one then, shall we? The big one. Best Scotch whiskey. This is the final category before we move on to the quiz. We'll have a bit of a chat. Interesting choices, if you don't mind me saying so, people. And this is going to be a bit of a field divider because there's a lot of differences in here because we're talking about best Scotch whiskey. Not best value, but best. How do we pick that? Well, let's see what the shortlist was. So the first one on there is the Anok 18-year-old. Cool. The Ardnamurchan cask strength. Cool. The Bunnahabhain 12-year-old. Interesting choice. That is an interesting choice because there are other Bunnahabhains. There are better Bunnahabhains. The Glen Scotia Victoriana, the Kilkerran 16, and the Lechig 18-year-old. Tough. Now, when you guys must have seen this, you must have thought, some other stuff has got to go in here, surely. So I bet you a load of you have got a personal choice on this. Stick it in the comments because I want to see it. Black Fen says he voted for. I say he. I shouldn't say that. Sorry, they voted for Anok 18, Glen Scotia Victoriana, and the People's Choice was the Belechin 15. Good choices. Malt Minion went with the Kilkerran 16 and the Victoriana. Solid. Whiskey Franco had to go with the Booner. Fair enough. Yep. Lawrence is the Glen Scotia Victoriana. Yep. David is the Victoriana, and the People's Choice was the Speyburn 15. Okay. Interesting. Bunnahabhain is the easy choice, says Watchman. Kilkerran is great too. Yep. Love the Anarch 18, says Donna. Phil is saying the Kilkerran 16. All good choices. Andrew's a none of the above. And Drew's asking, what do I think about a couple of NAS making the list? Good question. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't have a problem with NAS, I'll be honest. If there are other things in play, you know, like, I mean, it's got to be about mouthfeel, right? It's got to be about taste. It's got to be about flavor profile. The problem I have is that, like, Ardnamurchan cask strength, right? That's 65 quid. I haven't tried an Ardnamurchan yet. People are raving about it, sure. But am I going to go out and spend 65 quid on a whiskey that I've not tried? Nope. That's a lot of money to not put down the drain. I'd never put a whiskey down the drain, but it's a lot of money to waste if I don't like it. Yeah, so I don't have a problem with NAS specifically. It's very interesting that 2 of them are in this list. I would have called it that all 6 of them, sorry, would have been high teens age statements, which is why the Bunnahabhain 12-year-old surprises me, because Bunnahabhain's got an 18-year-old, which I think is better than the 12-year-old, as you'll find out when I finally review the 18-year-old, which is in my review queue. Yes. So, I don't know. Interesting category. Let's see what I picked. Just one, because I haven't covered any of the others apart from the... Well, okay, so I have covered the Bunnahabhain 12-year, but for the reasons that I've been speaking about, I didn't feel like I could vote for it. I was going to say, I'll see what you think about this. I think it would be criminal if the Bunnahabhain 12-year-old won it. Just my opinion, versus some of these other ones here. It's a great whiskey. It's really a great whiskey, and it's a great value whiskey. But best whiskey, best Scotch in the world? No. 100% not. So yeah, I'll vote for this because I've got it. This is the old version, sort of. The lecture. This is the batch 3 I've got here, which I'm going to drink now. I've got it poured out. Ryan's asking how much the Anarch is. £94 they're citing on here, but this is all, I mean, I don't know what their source is, but you could get it different places. Let's have a sip of this. So yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be voting for things in their People's Choice. An interesting one. Now, what do I think is going to win this category? That's a much harder question. Anarch 18-year-old stands a good chance. I actually think the Victoriana might win this, just on a popularity basis. The Bunnahabhain 12 might win it. It might win it. But, yeah. No, Rolex is saying I wouldn't say any of them best whiskey in the world. But yeah, exactly right. I think, I'll say for me, out of all these whiskies that I've tried, I haven't tried the Ardnamurchan, but I've tried all the rest of them, and the Leipzig 18 is the best whiskey for me, for my palate, subjectively. Not cheap, but not expensive either, really, for what you're getting. There you go. See what you think about that. I think if the Ardnamurchan won it, I wouldn't be bothered. That's fine. People are loving that, so, and people are saying I should get it. We will see. Okay. That. I mean, I just spent like an hour off camera, basically. So, cheating. I'm cheating. But yeah, there you go. That's the OSWAs. We've made some decisions. We've locked in our guesses. Your guesses might be different from mine. Hopefully, what's Ben saying? What you're saying is the best of these 6, but guaranteed is not the best whiskey. What you are saying is that it's the best of these 6 and not, but guaranteed. Sorry, maybe a little bit dyslexic, but I think what I'm reading there is that yeah, it's the best of these 6, 100%. That's what we're voting for here, right? We're voting for the best of these 6. So yeah, some very surprising whiskies on the shortlist, but that's why your people's choice is important. I would say, this is my personal opinion now, when this finally comes out and we finally find the answers, I think the people's choice top 10 it's going to be more important to pay attention to than the actual winner of this. So if whatever comes out as the top one, you probably don't need to rush out and get it, but that's it. Jimmy Leg saying, I didn't agree with a single pick you made, so you must be right. I love it because that's the beauty of it. And I say this so many times, that's the beauty of it. We're all so different. We all love whiskey, and all these whiskies are different, and all our tastes are different. So really, I mean, I would love to see the breakdown of the percentages of these. So if one of them wins it, how close was the next one? There you go. And Graham Brownson, thank you very much, buddy. He's you're late, but I appreciate you turning up. No worries, because we're about to do the quiz. Okay, now I've been going for an hour and a half, so I don't really intend to go beyond midnight. So let's go on to the quiz. Unless anyone's got anything further to say about the OSWAs, I should wrap that up by saying that it's on the 5th of November at 6 p.m. UK time. Bear in mind, obviously, we're going to go through a clock change in the next couple of weeks. So if you're looking at time differences, make sure you take that into account, or maybe just look in November once we've all changed our clocks. Yes. So yeah, make sure you check that out. It's going to be earlier on in the day. I know for some of the US guys, especially over on the further coast, but we'll see. Okay. Now, I've kept this to myself because the last time I did a vPub quiz, I made it too easy, and so many people got a 10 out of 10. And I think that a lot of you will be hoping that that's happened again. So I made sure that wouldn't happen again, and I rang up Menno and got him to write the quiz for me. So you are in no such luck, my friends. And I will caveat it at the start by saying that I didn't write any of these questions. So whatever he's put as the answers, I'm assuming he's got that right. If you've got any problems with the answers, you can message him, not me, because I'm just going with it. Let's get it up. There we go. 20th of October. The theme is all around the world, powered by Lord Asshat. Sorry, not sorry. My rating is a 5 out of 10. And I give myself a generous 5 out of 10 on that because I think I knew 3 of them and 2 of them were guesses. So, yes. Let's see how we get on. Yeah, I'm loving the comments, guys. I'm loving the comments because yeah, I've tried to keep this to myself as much as I could because I wanted to make this a bit of a surprise for you at the end. Okay, so standard fare. You keep your own scores. Put your comments in. I'm not going to check who's won what. There's no prizes at the end of it unless Roy's doing that. Still, I haven't got anything for you. This is just for kudos. Let's go. First question. Bowmore is one of the few distilleries capable of malting on site. How much of the barley they use comes from their own floor maltings? Here are your choices. A, approximately, I love the approximately on this. A, approximately 10 to 20%. B, approximately 20 to 30%. C, approximately 30 to 40%. I'm going to get rid of my No Nonsense Whiskey branding for a second so that make sure everyone can see what it is. And as always, I'm going to give you a second to get your votes in because you might be the kind of person like me who likes to see what everyone else is put in before you put it in. I've still got like 6 full glasses of whiskey here. I've been doing really well. Okay. Right. I'm going to call it then. I'm not sure what Roy normally does. I never stick around for the quiz. That's why I'm keen to go, because I'm getting tired. But okay. The answer then is C, approximately 30 to 40%. Let us know what you've got. I think that's going to knock a lot of people said A. A lot of people said A. So, boom. A lot of 0 for 1s so far. Of course, Whiskey with Molly's got a 1 for 1. Of course. A few people joked. Yeah, good. Okay, let's move on. Question 2. I love it. Apart from their first letter, what else do Benrumach, Bruichladdich, and Belmenach have in common? Balmenach. Apart from their first letter, what else do Benrumach, Bruichladdich, and Balmenach have in common? Your answers are A, they were all founded in the same year. They were all revived in the same year, or they also produce gin. And correct, who said that? Someone said about the last letters. Yeah, Don's like their last 2 letters. That is correct, but it's not one of my answers. So pick one of the. I say my answers. They're Menno's answers. Don't blame me. So yeah, A, they were all founded in the same year. B, they were all revived in the same year. And C, they also produce gin. I'm just drinking this Lecce 18. Lovely. I gotta say, I mean, this is only the second vPub quiz I've ever done, and it's so much better being on this side of it, where I don't have to guess under pressure. We've got lots of excuse me, lots of C's, some A's, some B's. Okay, I'll cut you off there. It is, of course, C. They also produce gin, and that is the Red Doors, the Botanist, and the Cowrun. I don't know. Don't know how to pronounce that. I don't like gin. Gin's not my bag. Toby says lies. It might be. Take it up with Menno. He's the guy. I love it, because I literally have like 0 accountability for this whatsoever. What a cop out, right? Because if I'd have written it genuinely, if I'd have written it, you guys would have been 10 out of 10s again. Because even the quiz I did on my own live stream a little while ago, I did an interesting take on it where I did 50-50, and there was only one winner, and it was over so quickly. I had like 20 questions written, and someone won it in like 10 questions. It was actually, it was Ben Marnock. He's in tonight, and I haven't given him his prize yet, but I will. He's got everything that I've got, so it's hard for me to get it, but yeah. Steve Atkins is saying Benrumach do not make gin. I mean, I have to see what Menno says about that, because he says they make Red Door. Let's move on. Okay, which of these new distilleries is not located in the lowlands? Is it A, Holyrood, B, Ardross, or C, Aberargie? Now, I should say as well, while you're putting your answers in for this, Menno could have pranked me on this at all. He could have given me some really bad answers and incorrect answers for that. But, you know, there you go. I imagine he's done his due diligence. Can't even say the word. Due diligence. There you go. Okay. Not many answers coming in for this. Just have a guess if you don't know. That's the way to go it. A, Holyrood. B, Ardross. C, Aberargie. So many crazy pronunciations that I don't know. I'm just relaxing and having a dram now. This is good. I can't even remember the answer to this. When I ran through it, I did my guesses, and I can't even remember what the answer is to this. Big mix, mostly C, I think. I don't know. No, right. She's talking about the Cotswolds gin. I have to say, I don't like gin, but that's the only gin I've ever been like. I enjoy that. I say enjoy. Enjoy's the wrong word. I could palate it. I could palate it. Okay. Let's see what we've got. C. Aberagi. I've said that probably 3 different ways now. Aberagi. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. I don't know. I can't tell you that for sure. You gotta take it out with Mano if you think that's wrong. Is this kicking a lot of people? Has anyone got a 3 for 3? Oof. We think there might be a wrongie in here. Okay. Well, let's see what Mano says about that. He's not here, unfortunately. No one's got a 3 for 3 yet, though, although possibly a wrong un. Okay. Oh. Stronach is a long-lost distillery. Now lives on as a brand from A.D. Rattray. Which distillery provides the whiskey for this expression? So, which distillery provides the whiskey from A.D. Rattray's Stronach expression? Is it A. Othrosk, B. Benrinnes, or C. Altavania? People are right on this. Yeah, Molasses is saying it's not fair that Menno isn't here to suffer the abuse. Quite right, because like I'm not even going to take the abuse. It's like doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. I could just go, nope, didn't write it. Teflon, that's me. No, non-stick. Boing flip. What does it say on Monkey Island? I am rubber, you are glue. Indeed. It is hard. Lawrence is hard. So when I ran through this, I got lucky with the 5. I'm not going to lie, because I did not know the answer to this. There's a couple later on which I thought were a bit easier. Okay. Answer time. 10 more seconds. Get your answers in. It is B. Benrinnes. It's B. Don't worry, it's B. I'm really enjoying that. Excellent chat. I love it. Okay, people are a bit more happy about that one. Okay, they're there. Okay, picture round. Where are we? I'll give you some clues in a minute. Have a good look at that while it's bigger. Are we in? This is okay. We're not going for a distillery. You don't need to tell me where it is. But are we in India, Australia, or Taiwan? Boom, boom, boom. Oh, we've got some dad jokes coming out. Where are we? My house. I'm at home. Good work, lads. Pure dad jokes. Are we in A, India, B, Australia, or C, Taiwan? If anyone wants to guess the distillery as well, there's no bonus points for it, but you can look like a smart ass if you know it. I didn't know this, but I guessed it right, so I'll take it. That's it. Electric 18's finished. Lovely. Yeah, I would love to go and visit distilleries in other countries. That would be amazing. Okay. Okay. Really, we should have a timer up, shouldn't we? Is that something he does normally? Countdown. Do. Okay. It is India. Paul John. Someone said it. Kirsten Stubb. Kirsten Stubb. You said it. No bonus points, I'm afraid, but you can get the kudos. Smartest guy in the room. Or girl. We've got, yeah, I mean, people are keeping up. I mean, I would say Roy goes on about a pass mark, right? I think he says 5. I got 5 out of 10. So if you can beat me, you're doing all right. I usually do really poorly on these, maybe picking up 2 if I'm lucky. So, yes. Good. People are doing all right. 4s, 2s, 3s. It's fine. You guys are doing fine. Okay. Which of these claims about Bimber is not true? Which one is not true? That means, for those mathematicians out there, that 2 of them are true and 1 of them is not. Which one is not true? A, the owner malts some of the barley at his own house. B, Bimber translates to moonshine in Polish. And C, their location is so small they use the same still for both the wash and the spirit. Tell me what you think of these is not true. A, the owner malts some of the barley at his own house. B, Bimber translates to moonshine in Polish. And C, their location is so small that they use the same still for both wash and spirit. Which one is not true? Not true. I'm going back down my line now, so I'm on the Kalila, Firkin Kalila. Stunning. This was a good one. I got this one right, but only because I've been there. Moon shadow. Okay. Going with the crowd. Always a solid tactic. It is C. Their location is so small that they use the same still for both wash and spirit. That's the one that's not true. So if I go back, it is true that the owner malts some of the barley at their own home. And it is true that Bimber translates into moonshine in Polish. There you go. Independent Joe suffering. I feel your pain, buddy, when I'm sitting there in the chat doing this. Or even worse, because I usually duck out when it's quiz time. So I don't blame anyone for ducking out. But when I get onto one of Roy's live streams, he kind of like guilt trips me into staying for the quiz, and I always look like a sucker. Always. Anyone hit pass mark yet? Yep, Donna Pass Whiskey's on pass mark. Good work. I don't think we're going to get a 10 today. Oh, Jimmy Jazz as well. Amazing. Let's keep going. Oh, whatever that says. On Jabba, the elephant dung smoked whiskey Roy and Roddy tried and approved on vPub once is produced where? So, yeah. The Ond Jabba, sorry if I'm massacring that, is an elephant's dung smoked whiskey that was on a vPub. Where is produced where? Is it in South Africa? Is it in Namibia? Or is it Tanzania? Put my teeth back in. People are trying to help out other people now. I like it. Possibly a bit of a gimme, this one. Oof. Wow, okay. Whiskey of Molly's getting ahead of himself. He knows the answer and he's calling it. Everyone's saying B. I'm just going to call it. I think. It is Namibia. Haven't tried it. Don't know anything about it. Apart from that it's Approved. There you go. Yeah, I think most people said B on that one. Good work. How are we all looking then? Pass marks coming through? See, I told you, not too bad. Don't be too mad at Menno. You can have a go at him about geography later. Okay. Banana Skin. Red Label was the most popular whiskey brand in the 1960s in Japan. But who produced it? Was it A, Suntory, B, Johnny Walker, or C, Ballantine's? Hopefully, if you're watching on the replay, you're keeping up with the chat here because it's hilarious. I like it. Do I have the banana skin emoji? No, I've only got access to my ones. Just got the... There you go. Some bananas. Is this a double bluff banana skin? Could it be? Could it be a triple or a quad? Who knows? That's your decision. Is it A, Suntory, B, Johnny Walker, or is it C, Ballantine's? Okay. We all ready for an answer? It is A, Suntory. Cheeky question. Cheeky question. Couldn't have been the Johnny Walker, surely not. Suntory whiskey red. Brutal. Hey, you know where to direct your pain. You know where to direct it. Penultimate question then. Who or what is Robbie Doo? Is it or who the first ever manager of Ardbeg? An infamous 19th century whiskey smuggler? Or is it Glenfiddich's water source? Didn't know the answer to this. Actually, can't remember the answer to this either. I don't know. Let's see. Dallas Doo's brother, yeah. Possibly the person who opened up the Gilly Doo in Edinburgh. Great bar. I went for a stag do in Edinburgh years ago. Didn't plan it very well, and then we ended up in the Gilly Doo, and it was amazing. Okay, we're getting some C's in, getting some B's in, some A's. Scottish cousin of Scooby. Indeed. Indeed. Okay, who's ready for their penultimate answer? Let's ping it. It's C, Glenfiddich's water source. Don't fact check me. Ben Mark saying downstairs is the head and tails nightclub from Gilly Doo. There you go. I don't really remember much about that night, I'll be honest. It was a heavy night. It was a heavy night. Donna Pass, Whiskey, 8 out of 9. Jimmy Jazz, 8 out of 9. Woof. Good scores. Good scores. Independent Joe, you literally, man, you're right where I would be. Genuinely. Okay, your final question then. Oh, who's this? Lord Arsehat. In 2021, a book was released overviewing all Belgian whiskies available up until then. Get your pens and papers ready. How many Belgian whiskey distilleries are currently active? Is it A, more than the current number of Islay and Island distilleries combined? Is it B, as much as there are distilleries owned by Pernod Ricard? Is it C, as much as there are Glen distilleries? I mean, if you're not just guessing, who are you? I know I've said it earlier, but I can't tell you how happy I am to be on this end of the quiz and not your end. Whiskey of Molly's just given up. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Okay. Yeah, I think staying on the high road is probably the only one. Okay, right. I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it the end because we've just hit 2 hours, and I did say I wasn't going to go over 2, but I am over 2. I'm doing a Roy. I'm not staying for any longer. Let's go. It is A, more than the current number of Islay and Island distilleries combined, which apparently is 18, and there are 22 Belgian whiskey distilleries that are currently active. Did anyone get a 10? I don't think you did. I'm really sorry, Ben. You're struggling. You're angry. I know. I feel it. Did anyone get 9? Because there was 2 that were close. Donna passes on 8. Jimmy Jazz is on 8. There you go. That's the best. That's the best. Boom. I'm back full screen. There we go. Oh, I'm rosy cheeked as well. It's warm in here. It's warm in here. Right. That brings me to the end of the stream. That's been a lot of talking. I know. I apologise for that. Maybe I'll take it back. I don't apologise. You've all stuck with me. You all know what the game is. It's happy. We're good. We've talked about the OSWAs. We've talked about our choices. We've had a quiz. We've had the intro. All good things. Hopefully, this hasn't been too different to your normal vPub experience. Obviously, Roy is a far better presenter than me, but hopefully I've stepped in and helped keep it going nonetheless. I'm absolutely trashed. I'm so tired. It's unreal. But I'm going to sign off in a moment once I've said thank you to the Whisky Franco for his super chat just come in. Absolutely wonderful job behind the bar tonight. Thanks for staying up with us. Cheers. Cheers to you all for sticking in. As always, as I said at the start, if you've come over from Roy and you didn't know who I was before, I'm grateful for you spending the time with me. Hopefully, I've earned a subscription from you. But as always, I'm an open book. If people want to get in touch with me, just to have a chat about whiskey and whatnot, you can check me out on vin@nononsensewhiskey.com. That's my email address. I've also got a Discord channel, but I didn't put the link below. If you bear with me unprofessionally, I will pull a link now, actually, while I'm doing it. Invite people. This is only a 7-day link because I couldn't bother to click a few buttons. There you go. There's Discord link. If you want to join Discord, Roy should do a Discord. I think you guys would enjoy it, but we enjoy Discord. It's good. But yeah, that remains to say thank you very much to everyone for watching. Been an absolute pleasure to spend the evening with you. I've got some whiskies here that should I finish them or should I put them back in the bottle? Is that sacrilege? I don't know. I've got to get up early tomorrow. Probably a bad idea to drink them, but whatever. Amazing comments. Thank you all for your super chats. Thank you all for being here. And I'm going to call that a sign off. And just as a little extra flourish, I'm going to end with the cool little outro that Roy did for me. Cheers all. I'll see you again on more No Nonsense Whiskey videos, and I will try my best to get into a vPub in the future. And I'll see you on the OSWAs. Catch you on the flip side.